Hi, my name is Abby Adkins, and I am a Twin Cities resident, but I had the fortune of growing up in Walnut Grove, Minnesota, and starting from a young age, 3, 4 years old, my mom and dad got us involved in the Laura Ingalls Wilder pageant, and that was a part of our family summers, age 3, 4, all the way up through my teen years. And so many wonderful memories from my childhood and from my young teen years being involved with the pageant.
So, I mean, 11, 12 years, that's a long time, but yes, and very instrumental, big parts. You got Nellie, you got Willie, you got your mom played numerous characters, but particularly is known for Caroline. And so that's a great time.
I a little bit remember that day. Yes.
I don't have a lot of video from that time period, and I don't have you as Nellie, but I have one of your, I think 98 when you were Nettie Kennedy.
Stupid. Nellie?
Well, why do you put up with that? I would love to tell Nellie what I think of her. We got to a bear paw. He says we're not supposed to crawl. Well, I can't do nothing, but I sure can think about it.
Yes.
That's fun. That's fun.
That is fun. And one last one.
Clementina, come here at once. I must be leaving.
Willie? Howard? Do you remember the last time we had a little trouble? You never know what could happen. Now, class, I'd like to begin with our spelling lesson for today. Oh, Reverend Alden, I thought I felt the presence of God.
Hardly his presence, Miss Beadle, just one of his loyal servants.
Children, let's all stand and say good morning to the Reverend.
Oh, and the Lord said. I can't remember.
And I think that's your brother there, Willie, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yes, it was. So that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. A lot of work. Some people say that they had to wear wigs, but you didn't.
I went with my natural hair, but I have extremely straight hair. And so it was, and especially with summer humidity in Minnesota, it was an ordeal. Curling irons would not hold, so my mom helped me, and we used sponge roll curlers. And so it was a multi-hour ordeal every day, but it was preferred over a wig. So I remember that well.
Well, give us a little bit of an idea of what you can recall about preparing to be Nellie, and there were any challenges?
I do remember when I was younger, a lot of younger girls, we all wanted the part of Laura or maybe Mary, but I remember from my younger years, I wanted to be Nellie. And so I remember the day after school when my mom pulled me aside because the cast list was out, and she said, "You got the part of Nellie." And I think that was one of the most exciting moments for me because I wanted to be the villain, the snotty one on the cast. And so that was an exciting day. And then it was a lot of fun getting to pair with Willie, who I think each year only twice, but it was a different Willie each year. And then, of course, getting to have your onstage mother and father, who in and of themselves, the Olsen family was a lot altogether. And so it was fun acting with a crew of 4 people who had large personalities and often something we don't aspire to be in real life. So that made it even more fun.
But I know people, when they see Nellie, they come up and they're actually, I've had kids say they're afraid to come and talk to me.
Yeah, the autographs at the end, sometimes little kids weren't quite sure if you were safe to talk to or not. So fun to talk to audience members afterwards. I do remember that.
Any particular scenes that you did as Nellie that were your favorite?
The scene where who falls in the pond? Was it Nellie? Was it me that fell in the pond? I remember that. Oh, the leeches. I remember that was always fun to practice. And that was something, again, when I was younger, getting to watch that older Nellie. Thought I want to be Nellie someday to get to do that. And then the pie in the face scene. getting to be up close and personal, watching the pie in the face scene was always fun.
If you were able to talk to some of the other 34 people who have been Nellie, what would you maybe ask them?
I would be curious to sit down and hear how they did their hair or what wigs they wore, and just to hear about who got to play their mother, because I'm sure some of the Mrs. Olsons had a longer tenure, or the Mr. Olsons. So I'm sure even though each of us had a shorter tenure as Nellie, we probably shared some fun memories and fun experiences with similar cast members and memories there.
When you then became the teacher, after you kind of aged out of the Nellie role and all of that, did that kind of change your perspective on the show
I
a
think
bit? Or?
as fun as it was to be on stage after being in the pageant for so many years, there was so much more to it. So even if I wasn't Nellie anymore, all the excitement and the bonding and all the people that you had worked with for years and all that time backstage. So I think at that point it didn't matter because there was so much more value in being a part of the pageant experience than necessarily who I was, which part I was portraying.
So for you, once you got done with the pageant, you got very educated, and what are you doing now? And do you do any theater?
My husband and 2 children and I, we live up in the Twin Cities in the Burnsville area, and I'm a music teacher. And so music, and there's music in the pageant, but music has been a part of my life, my whole life. And I've stayed involved with coaching and a little bit of theater. So, but currently, just with 2 young children, I have not been acting in recent years. So, but it would be fun to get my 2 kids involved at some point as well.
Any advice to people that are watching, listening to us about being involved in theater or how to develop a character? Anything you'd like to share?
I credit being involved with the Laura Ingalls Wilder pageant with building so much confidence. And so that's one of the main reasons I'd love to get my own kids involved. A cast in a musical or a cast in a show tends to be a great group of people, but beyond that, I just think I built so much confidence in myself and just stage presence, whether that's in a job or just being out and about in public. So I think there's a ton of value, even if it's a small show or a huge production, to get involved in theater in some way, shape, or form.